Hi, everyone. We're going to show you how to onboard to your natural history study in your new data center. So if you go to the website, our website, FOXG1Research.org, our community site, you'll see a bunch of tabs and you'll see one for parents and caregivers. That's you. And I'm sorry about that. Parents and caregivers. The second link is the patient data center, the registry. You go ahead and click on that, and that'll take you to our new exciting data center. And you'll notice that your information should be already in. If not, put it in. And if you have not registered, just go to the register tab and go ahead and register. So once you register, go ahead and sign in. And that takes you to your dashboard. Nicole, you want to take it away since you designed it?
Yeah, sure. So this is, you'll realize this is not what the registry looked like. This is the new FOXG1 Patients Data Center. And this is where it's the new registry. It's where surveys will be, which we're going to tell you a lot about the surveys, not just yet. And it's where you'll find the natural history study. We've got some other things we're adding to it that we're going to introduce everybody to, but I want to show you first, we're going to be adding a seizure diary, which is going to be an important and really convenient way to track seizures. We added a map that shows FOXG1 patients around the world, and that's changes in real time as new patients are diagnosed. We also added a chart to show the FOXG1 mutation categories, how many patients have each category. And this is populated as people do this registry. So the patient data center is our new registry / natural history study home. And you'll see here, each patient has their own dashboard. So this is Amara's dashboard, Nasha's daughter. And this is where and the surveys, again, we're going to get to. This is going to be really critical for everyone to do, and they're coming soon. And this is where you'll go to enter the natural history study. So Nasha is going to show you exactly how to onboard now.
Okay, perfect. So here you'll notice it'll say enter here. So you go ahead and just click that. It takes a second to load. And this is our natural history study site. Feel free to read about it, why it's important, and then go ahead and click get started. Scroll down and you'll notice the first screen talks about who you need to be, what you're kind of signing up for. We can only take US patients right now. International patients will start onboarding in April. You're also agreeing to do the surveys, which are critical, as Nicole just mentioned. So if you're agreeing to the criteria, go ahead and click yes. This is the research consent controlled by an internal review board. You can go ahead and read that, make sure you're comfortable, and then sign up. So let me do that for Amara. Put my name in. And then go ahead and put the email address you want to use.
Well, use the same email address that you use for the registry.
Yeah, I would just use the same email address for everything, and that will keep it systematic in your mind.
And for us as well.
Yeah. And then here is the consent to share information, your contact information back with the foundation. This is really critical. Otherwise, we will not be able to match the information on your surveys to the information that will be collected in your natural history study. And we want to collect everything and link it with a unique identifier so we can really understand our patient population. So if you're comfortable there, consent, and then it's going to ask you to continue. And you'll start your onboarding process. So the first thing is the system's asking you, ready to go, what's your name? And this is your name as the parent. Your name in.
This is important. It's not your child's name, it's your name. Mm-hmm.
Right. Then go ahead and put your email address, and I would suggest putting the exact same address that you put your consent in, so it's all the same. Go ahead and create a password. And then you're done. You've created your account. It's going to ask you some questions. Who are we getting records for? It's not for me, it's for Amara. And then what's your loved one's name? That's where you're going to write your child's name in. It's going to ask for your diagnosis, which is, of course, FOXG1. Once you start typing, it'll pop up. It'll ask what the relationship is. Am I the parent or guardian, or am I the medical decision maker? And if you have a FOXG1 child that's passed away, you can also contribute their data for research. So I am Amara's mom. It'll be asking me questions: when she's born, And then the first question is, where was she diagnosed? This is really important so we can try to get a hold of the genetic report and any information that was relevant when the child was born. So I am actually going to put in a demo because I don't want to put a real request in. Then it's going to ask me, has Amara received treatment? And this is, has she also been seen at that hospital after she was born? And if you say yes, it'll ask you to continue. If you say no, it'll ask you, where has Amara primarily received treatment? So if there's another hospital you want to pick, you can go ahead and pick that hospital. And so, I could look for Stanford, for example. Now, one thing I want to point out is for some of them, there's going to be more than one entry. So for Stanford, I see Stanford Hospital as well as Stanford University, Stanford Children's Health. So it won't really matter because most of these hospitals have one record collecting unit. So just go ahead and pick the one that you think it is. Again, I'm doing a demo, so I'm just going to pick a demo hospital. Then it's going to ask, is there another location where Amara has received specialty care? Now, this is important. This is if your child has seen a GI specialist, have you seen another neurologist, neurogeneticist? Have you received MRI imaging from another hospital? This is where you want to put that in. So if you have seen a pediatrician at another hospital, that's not as important. We can collect those pediatric records later, but believe it or not, the core, the importance data that we need is going to come out of neurology notes, GI notes, etc. So that's what we're talking about here.
All your specialists.
All your specialists. So again, if you click yes, go ahead and put your, so if I say UCSF.
So you'll do it one by one.
One by one, and then I can go ahead. And so again, there's 2 medical centers that show up on the list. That's okay, don't worry, just click one and you can continue. Now, again, I'm just gonna pick the demo. Okay. Now it's gonna ask an important question. Would you like us to search for records from other healthcare institutions where Amara has received care? So this is great because here, once we're done collecting the main records, so to speak, the most important ones, then we can go and collect all of Amara's records. And so you can go ahead and click yes there. Now, as per state law, we have to ask this question on sensitive types of records that you may not want included: mental health, sexual reproductive care, substance abuse, etc. And if any of these you don't want included in the record set, you can go ahead and click, otherwise click next. Now, this is another consent, and you may say, hey, I've already done a consent. The majority of this consent is in the first consent. The only difference here, this is Ciitizen's consent. The only difference here is there's also a clinical trial consent included. So when Ciitizen starts connecting to clinical trials, if you click yes to this, they will be able to send you trials that your child may be eligible for. So like movement disorder trials, epilepsy trials, etc. So if you would like that, go ahead and click yes. Now it's going to ask me for a photo ID and a birth certificate. Please note, this is as per HIPAA law for Ciitizen to use to go and collect your child's medical records. It's not for Ciitizen. It doesn't get used by Ciitizen. So I'm going to go ahead and click next, and it's going to say, please upload a photo of my ID. So make sure you have a photo of your ID already saved on your computer. Just take it with your phone, take a picture of your ID, and then you can email it to yourself and download it. That's what I did. So let me go through and put my driver's license. It's my beautiful picture. All right, click next. It's going to ask me, does it look good? So if I didn't, do it properly, I can go ahead and retake it, but it looks good.
So where it says retake photo, it's not like you're taking it with your computer or camera, you're re-uploading it.
Re-uploading it. Good catch. I need to change that.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me, Nicole. And then it's going to ask me for Amara's birth certificate. And this is, of course, proving that, I am her mother. So I'm going to go ahead and upload file. And again, I've already taken a picture of Amara's birth certificate with my phone because all we need is that first copy. And then I've uploaded it. So you can see it's come in the frame, and it's, again, just with my phone. So you don't have to worry about scanning or anything crazy like that. So
and a little tip, if you have an iPhone and you've done the update, in notes on iPhones, there's a scan feature. And it's
Oh,
actually,
cool.
yeah, so you can go in and create a new note and use the scan feature. Just play around with notes, and it's a great way to scan because you can scan something and then choose share, and the email icon comes up. So you just email it to yourself or email it to
Cool.
anybody if you're using it for other reasons. But iPhone Notes has scan.
Learned something new. Okay. Are there any prior names that, Amara, could she have had another name and she hasn't? So I'll click no. If I clicked yes, you would just simply write the different name. So I'll just make something up. I don't think anyone's going to have more than one name at all that they've used for their child, but just in case. Now it's asking me what number should they contact with questions. This is important because sometimes hospitals need to call you to confirm that you are in fact the parent. And so we provide your number to the hospital, as well as Ciitizen may call you if they're having issues retrieving any of your child's medical records. So I'll go ahead and put a number in.
And that's likely to happen. We noticed with the SYNGAP group that a lot of parents were saying the hospital called me to confirm that I want to share my medical records. So don't be surprised if you get a call from the hospital after you do this process.
Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. Then it's going to ask me, please verify the information. And if your ID was clear enough, it would have pulled your address from the ID. If not, they'll give you a place where you can enter your address. So I can make changes if I'd like, otherwise it looks good. Now I need to sign the authorization. This is really hard because it's a digital signature and you need to make it match your ID, whether it was a driver's license or a passport, etc., as close as humanly possible. And I know it's hard. So let's say you do something and you're like, oh, that's not at all it. You can clear signature and do it again. And I recommend you do that to try to get it as close as you can to your driver's license or whatever ID. And I should have made that more clear. It's any government ID. In my case, it was a driver's license. You click authorize, goes through, click next. Now here, this is up to you if you want to add your number. This basically enables you to receive live updates. So you'll get a text message when your child's records are in. I find this useful, so I'm going to go ahead and put my phone number in. You have to agree. And you're done. You click done and it's over. And then you go into the portal. And so now you're in the portal, and this is the provider that I've requested records from. And you'll notice that under documents, once documents start coming, you'll start seeing documents come in, as well as imaging. I'll see all of Amara's MRI imaging come in. And what's awesome about this is I can just hit share, and I can share Amara's medical record with anyone. So this is how easy it is now for me to get a second opinion. Even her imaging, I do not have to take a CD, burn it, and send it across the country to another doctor. I simply click share. And Ciitizen is connected to a PACS server. So whoever neurologist, radiologist you send it with will be able to download it onto their PACS server. And this is a massive advantage that we get for being part of this study. And that's it. Anything else, Nicole, before I end the...
Yes, and go back to, so then you're done. So go back to our patient dashboard for a second. So I think when you're done, will it bring you back there? It doesn't matter. So if you have any trouble onboarding yourself, just email me and we can walk you through it. And again, the system's going to do this for you. So the natural history study really does not take much of your time at all other than onboarding. It's the surveys where we need our cohorts, our first 50 who are starting, and eventually everyone, to always stay on top of those surveys. They're easy, they don't take much time, and they're not ready yet. So when they are, keep an eye out. We'll do another video, and I will be in touch with you guys all the time to make sure that they're updated, because that's really critical information for us to understand the progression of FOXG1 for all of our children. Okay, Nasha, that was great. Thank you.
Bye, guys.